Welcome to Untapped. For the next few weeks, Spencer is going to be joining us from wherever he is in the world as he tries to complete his world record attempt, 7 full-distance triathlons on all 7 continents of the world. And right now, Spencer is joining us live from Cape Town. So let's start with, obviously after London, you went to Arizona. So that was a very quick turnaround. Do you want to tell us just quickly how was Arizona?
Arizona's the only official Ironman event of the 7. So we were competing. I think there's about 2,000 people, maybe a bit less, about 1,800 athletes. And it kind of gave us a bit of extra time because you've got to register for the race. So like you have to arrive and you have to be there. The others, as you'll hear with Cape Town, we literally just we're straight in. So basically, Arizona was good. We arrived at the hotel. We were on the ASU campus in Tempe, like literally right next to the race registration. And I was beginning to feel a bit kind of, God, this one's going to be quite intense because it's going to be naturally way faster than the other ones. And there'll be an element of competitiveness to it because obviously there'll be people to race with. And it was so funny. We were at the race check-in and Chris Taylor, he was just like, oh, mate, now that I'm here, I really wish I was racing this as well. And I was like, oh, okay, well, cool. I'll see what I can do. And 10 minutes later, we'd signed him up. So that was perfect. So I got Chris a full race pass, and we got him a wetsuit, and all of a sudden it was the 2 of us doing it, which I have to say, made a massive difference. Like just knowing firstly that he was doing it as well, lining up on the start line together. The race itself is just faster. It's like I set my PB in the swim. I did an hour 21. I'd never broken an hour 30 before, I don't think. Just because, you're chasing people. And there's a big vibe. Like in America, they're wild for it. They just love it. Do you know what I mean? Like we went to our race meeting and the bloke was just like all very nice, by the way, but it is quite funny. Like they do just chat to you like you're a 5-year-old.
When you say you, do you mean you specifically or just British people?
Everyone. So everyone who's racing is sat in this field basically, and this guy is like, so you keep the buoys on your left, and when you get to the red buoy, you take a left, and we're going counterclockwise for the swim. What does that mean? It means we're turning left. It means we're turning left, and like we're all like, do we need to be at this thing? And it was kind of like. Then he's like, after the swim, you come out onto land, and then you pick up your cycling bag. And it's like, where is your cycling bag? You put it there, so you should know. It's like, yeah, obviously we know. It was a bit of an odd race meeting, to be honest. So we did leave slightly early, only because it was relatively straightforward.
Just a quick question on Arizona. Turning up the day before a massive Ironman event that is essentially in the middle of the desert. Is it easy to come by a wetsuit?
At the expo, it is, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Just had this image of Chris running around about to rob someone or something.
It's a good question, though. We, as you know, really struggled to get our hands on the Recca Maverick X3. Like it took a while. There was racks of them all over the place, so I could have just picked one up at the expo. But the food is just like, as you might imagine it would be, just like insanely awesome, massive. Like I ate a breakfast burrito, and the chef came and congratulated me because she said that nobody finishes them. It was the size of my thigh. I've never seen anything like, when it hit the table, I was literally just like, what? It's just like this monster thing.
And also, you've got that thing where, like, you know how, like, when sometimes you fly long distance, you just kind of keep eating all the meals they bring out on a plane or whatever. Like, so you've got that, plus you've done a triathlon. So your eating ability must be just through the roof right now.
It's pretty good, but also that is probably the main benefit of doing several full distance tries back to back. There is really nothing you can't eat.
Sleep and recovery are the most important parts of training, and still, so many people get them wrong. We all talk about good sleep habits, avoiding screens, winding down properly, but hardly anyone talks about the actual mattress that they're sleeping on. I can do everything right, train hard, eat well, recover properly, but if I don't sleep well, I feel it straight away. I'm not sharp, not recovered, and definitely not ready to perform. That's where Simba comes in. Their hybrid mattress design, built using the sleep data of over 10 million people, combines AeroCoil springs and Simbatex foam to keep you cool, supported, and undisturbed all night. It helps you recover properly so that you wake up ready to go again. They've also got adjustable hybrid pillows and cooling duvets, all designed with the same science behind them. And they've picked up over 100 sleep awards, including 6 Which Best Buys. You can try Simba completely risk-free with free next-day delivery, a 200-night trial, and a 10-year guarantee. And if it's not right for you, they'll just collect it. No hassle, no repacking. Because if you're serious about training and recovery, you've got to take your sleep seriously too. Check them out at simbasleep.com/untapped. On this show, we talk a lot about energy, not just having it, but how you use it. And one thing I've learned from the world of endurance sport is that energy isn't something you waste, it's something you master. Hive brings that same mindset into your home, putting you in control of your energy every single day. Everyone knows them for their smart thermostats, but Hive has evolved into something greater, eco-tech that helps generate, manage, and use cleaner energy. And with solar, you can get the sun to work for you, turning sunlight from your roof into greener energy. It's about generating your own power, helping to lower bills, and creating the freedom to live life on your terms. And with the Hive app, you have the power to track, manage, and optimize your energy in one place. Clear, simple, and built around you. And here's the best part. Anything you don't use, you can sell back to the grid, meaning you'll get energy companies to pay you. Hive puts that power directly in your hands. Your home, your energy, and your future. Hive. Know your power. Visit hivehome.com to find out more. Subject to survey and suitability, output varies by season and may not cover all electricity usage. Paid for surplus requires an eligible SEG tariff. Savings vary by home and usage.
We descended into hell in the run of that race, pretty aggressively, because and again, this isn't a stab at Ironman. Just obviously in the ones that we're doing ourselves, we can kind of stop and chill and just take it a bit more easy. We have a cutoff time of 18 hours. When you stack up 7 of them in quick succession, hopefully the idea is we wouldn't get anywhere near that 18 hours, but that's to account for injury, weather, just stuff where, races may be cancelled. So it's to kind of give us time to think on our feet in real time if if our support van has an accident or whatever and we have to help somebody get to hospital, that's all in baked into our 18 hours. Obviously, an Ironman typically doesn't take 18 hours, but we need that buffer. Chris and I did Tempe, the Arizona one in 12:51, which is pretty good, but it does just mean that you don't have any time to chill. You'll stop at an aid station, not an aid station, you'll stop at a fueling station and it's just here's some electrolytes and here's a Pringle. And it's okay, well, now that I've had my Pringle and my electrolytes, it's kind of I'm back on the road. So it was just fast. It's as you might expect, it's like the London Marathon or whatever. There's no real reason to just pull over on the side of the road and stop. You're racing. So it was a very different experience. Everything kind of hung in the balance for Cape Town because it was the fastest turnover that we're going to have. So the journey from door to door, from Arizona hotel to Cape Town hotel, was about 24 hours of just straight travel. We flew to Atlanta, and then from Atlanta over to Cape Town, and it's about 24 hours. And then we would arrive here in Cape Town, which is where I am now, at about 10 p.m. If I didn't sleep on the flight, that was going to be really problematic. Like it was essential that we all got some rest on the flight. Slept for 11 hours on the flight. Which was pretty awesome. Just got on the plane, boff, like literally passed out. I think I was asleep before the thing took off. But also, I smelled like I had a shower that morning, but like it was so intense. When like I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but like just. I don't know, like you play loads of sport and then kind of go for a meal or something and you kind of just get a bit caught off guard. Like I've never smelt as bad as I smell on that flight. I think I fell asleep with my hoodie on. I woke up with it off. So I think I fell asleep with the hoodie on, sweated profusely like into this tracksuit on this boiling hot flight. And then kind of got cold and took it or whatever, but like I was very smelly, like just that horrid like salted like puke. Like I was finding it bad. I was actually like, what is that revolting smell? Like it's me. So anyway, long story short, got to well actually it's not short. It's just a long story. Got to Cape Town at about 10. And then we had to leave the hotel.
Sorry, Spencer. What time does your body even think it is at this point? Do you know what I mean?
We honestly, like times. Oh yeah. So sorry. So we also lose 7 hours on the way from Arizona to Cape Town. So we're going the wrong way, right? We're going west to east. So 24 hours of travel actually turns into 31 hours of travel or whatever that is. Is that what? Yeah. So it's more like 31. My brain is not working. It's more like 31 hours of travel, and we essentially lose the rest day. So we're doing a similar thing now, going to Perth. We leave this morning, but we land at midday, not 10 p.m. So we've got kind of all afternoon and all night before the race. A bit different. So not great still, but a bit different.
Arizona was hard, but it sounds like Cape Town has been by far the toughest so far. So can you walk us through why was it so tough? Like walk us through it.
This is where it gets good, by the way. The Cape Town one is I won't ever forget the Arizona one, but it was just like, it's just the sheer length of these things, right? Like setting off to like do a workout essentially at 6 a.m. and finishing in the evening is mad, right? Like they're not normal distances. Like Chris Taylor and I were talking about this. We've done loads of ultras and races and different stuff. Like I think an Ironman, a full Ironman, is the toughest day, the toughest single day event in sport. I think, right? I can't compare it to too much else that has this much of a big effect on your body. Like it's the three things combined that I think really sucks. Cape Town was a strange experience. Also, it was my first open water, like wild swim, if you will. Like Arizona was in a lake, London was in the docks. And like, I know, right? I'd like to think I'm a semi-intelligent person. Like I know that the chances of being eaten by a great white shark are slim. It doesn't mean that it's not on your mind, right? So like, it's all anyone has been saying to me about, what about the sharks in Cape Town? It's like, I know that the last shark attack in this bay was 40 years ago or whatever. I'm aware that the people who are putting me in this water are comfortable enough to do so without thinking it's risky. But when I'm lying in bed the night before, not sleeping, and you're just wondering why we're going for a swim at dawn in Cape Town when the sun's not up, and you're aware that sharks and other creatures feed at dawn and dusk, particularly, I started Googling stuff. I started Googling, like, worst times to be in, and it's literally, oh, don't swim at dawn. And it's like, don't swim at dusk. That's when sharks feed and they can't see you properly. So, like, they'll have a stab at you anyway, just because, they're using their senses a bit more. And it's like, God, so, like, it may not even want to eat me, but it's going to eat me because it can't see me properly. Yeah. But then we had a fixer, a guy who, like, is our driver and just helps us, sort stuff on the ground here, a local fixer called Rob. And he, this is the worst thing that could have possibly happened to me right in the morning. I was chatting to him about sharks and I was like, is there any risk of me being nibbled or, worse, bitten or eaten? And he goes, oh no, mate, it's not the white sharks that you want to worry about. And I was like, oh, fucking hell. He goes, there's a pack of rabid seals at the moment. And I was like, rabid as in they have rabies? And he was like, yeah, they attacked my buddy 2 days ago. And I was just like, there's a pack of seals that attacked your friend 2 days ago and they've got rabies. He's like, yep. Like, nobody, they're behaving pretty weird. So sometimes seals are friendly, but these ones are not. So if you see any seals, just, make sure that, you try and keep your distance. And I was just like, I couldn't actually tell if he was pulling my leg or not. So I was just like, whatever, we'll just get there. Got to the beach. It's pitch black, like pitch black, freezing cold as well. Like, step out onto the beach, onto the sand. I bought some Birkenstocks, first timer. So I was wearing Birkenstocks. Yeah, I know. I was wearing Birkenstocks. I took them off, stepped out onto the sand, and it's just like freezing cold. Do you know what I mean? And like just dark. And I look out to sea, and I'm like, I really don't want to get in this thing, like, at all. Like, and genuinely, it helped me with my psychopathy assessment a bit, because like I felt genuine fear. Like I was just like, I don't want to be in that water for an hour and a half. Like I feel like it's dangerous, like a big black, like, pool of water. Just, and I know there's wildlife in it. We're in Africa, do you know what I mean? I was just like, I don't like it. Like I just don't like the idea of it. So like, I'm having a minor moment in my head where I'm just like, how do we push the swim until it's like, light? And we can't, obviously. And I was just like, I'm really frightened, like genuine. I was just like, I'm actually like, I feel frightened. Like I don't want to do it, and don't mention it to anyone. And I was just like, whatever. I'm sure that it's safe. Like it has to be safe. Like they wouldn't be putting me in this position if it wasn't safe. And I dive in, and it's like, it's so cold. It's 9 degrees. I'm not wearing gloves. I'm not wearing boots. And like the wetsuit's not really built for 9 degrees either. Like 9 degrees is, just to give you an idea, official Ironman events, the swim has been cut in half for the full distance in 9 degree water to make it less dangerous for people. I found all of this out later because, well, not that we would have, right? We would have to have done the full distance anyway. But official Ironman events wouldn't subject you to 9 degrees for a full distance swim, 3.8 kilometers. And I get in and it's cold. It's like, it's far colder than I thought it would be. Like I'm pretty sure that I had Googled that it was 15 degrees, which is, by the way, still pretty cold. But it's like not that bad, it's like 15 degrees is fine. You get away with it. Got in, real sharpness on the face. Like it almost feels like you're being thumped in the face, and like hands and feet bare. And I was like, Jesus, this is going to be grim. Swim out. And I just have this like moment. I'm looking down in the water, and it's just dark. Like everything's dark. And I have this like little semi kind of panic. I'm just like, I feel really exposed. and really like in danger. I just felt really in danger. And like but there was a boat with me, thankfully. And I kept coming up to like have a look around, which I never do. Like the swim, I'll just crack on and get it done. And couldn't see anything and blah, blah, blah. And then I start swimming and it's getting slightly lighter. Call it, I've been swimming for like 45 minutes and like found a bit of a rhythm moving, going across the bay and then back. And a seal arrives next to me, right? And I've actually like, I had what some could call like a minor meltdown, like because of the rabies, right? Like, and obviously, if he hadn't told me about the rabies, I would have loved this idea of swimming with the seal. But it was kind of next to me and looking at me, and then it would like dive down and come back up and look at me and swim up towards me and then veer off. And I was like, "Ugh!" Like, you know, just thinking this thing was gonna bite me and give me rabies. And then eventually, like, there were quite a few seals. Like, they all dove in off this rock and they were all coming in. And I was just like, I'm swimming in freezing cold water in Africa, surrounded by seals. Like, one of them's got rabies. You know what I mean? So, everything's just going a bit bonkers. And anyway, it turns out they were really friendly. Keep swimming. And then this is where things genuinely got dangerous and not funny at all. I had about 800 meters to a kilometer left to go. And I lost sensation in my hands and feet really early in the swim. Like really early, call it like a couple of hundred meters. I couldn't do palms. Like I was dragging through the water like that because I couldn't grip my fingers together. And so I'm swimming a bit slower than usual. And then I begin to notice that like I can't feel my arms at all. Arms and then legs. And like I'm trying to do the movements of what I think I should be doing, but I'm kind of struggling with it. And I've completely lost my speech. So like I'm out of the boat and like they're saying like you're right, and I'm going like I couldn't speak properly. And then I start thinking like I'm going to drown because I couldn't feel like the water or anything. And I get this real tightness in my chest and like start hyperventilating. And I was just thinking like this is like potentially quite dangerous, you know, like and I'm expecting to be pulled out by them. And they're quite next to me. And Matt, the videographer, looked like really worried. And I just sat there for a sec and just kind of like just took it in a bit and just started breathing like quite heavily and tried to control the breathing. And I knew that if I got pulled out, I'd have to do the whole thing again, which would just be like hell, right? And I only had 1 kilometer left. So in my mind, I was just like, I have to swim this kilometer, just get through it and then I'll get warm. And anyway, just found a bit of a rhythm again. But it was that's the closest I've come to having I don't know, like a panic attack or something, I would say. Like it was pretty fiery, quite panicky. Felt like a heart attack.
Just a quick one then. I guess that's something that maybe just for the listener, like that they might not realize fully is that, you know, Arizona, for example, or London, for example, it's a city. It's all, even the swim is in this sort of confined space. Arizona, it's an arranged race. There's, like you say, there's the fuel stations, there's the ambulances, everything you could possibly need. And it's all very controlled. Actually, most of the time, you know, you go somewhere like, even though Cape Town's a big city, but actually there is real danger in this. You are sort of doing this yourself and just sort of picking a place that you think is the right place that fits to swim and kind of going for it. Yeah. And, you know, yes, you've got a support team, but like there is danger here. Like that wasn't, you know, great.
Yesterday made me really question why I'm doing this. Like over a number of different times. It was kind of, there were a number of moments yesterday where I was just like, what am I doing? Like, I don't need to be doing this. Like, that was really dangerous. Like, I'm lucky that I'm not in hospital after that. You know, that genuinely in the swim, there was a time in the swim, like around that time, the kind of panicky bit towards the end where I literally thought, what happens now? Like, you know, because I am heading straight to hospital or worse. Like they may not be able to warm me up. And like, it was kind of, and also, when you get these negative spirally thoughts, it's pretty hard to get rid of them. I have some experience in having to bounce back, to get through to the end of something, which I was really thankful for at the time, because I think, it could have been very easy to just lose your sense of reality and have a full meltdown there. And it's very hard to understand what could have happened. Anyway, so got in, took about 35 minutes to warm up, stood under like a piping hot shower for a really long time. We filmed all of this, by the way. It's quite, like when you see me trying to speak, you'll understand what I mean. I couldn't talk at all. Like I'd try and get words out, you wouldn't have a clue what the words were, type of thing, for like a while. So that was, obviously you're happy and you're proud when you get out and I've done it, and even you can kind of tell as well, like the local lads on the boat were surprised, and that's not great. Like I got out and one of them was just like, keep going, mate. That's squad, and I was like, what do you mean? It's, why was everyone just like, why is it that, so I think they knew as well that it was going to be a real rough thing so got out, handled it. And then onto the bikes, mate. And the bike was a very frustrating experience. So the wind in Cape Town yesterday was so strong, just like big gusty winds, that cycling was just incredibly dangerous, right? Like we didn't see a single other cyclist in Cape Town all day. There was a race event organizer that we had spoken to who called Chris and said, just so you know, like we would pull our event today if we had one, right? So like, we wouldn't allow cyclists to cycle in a sanctioned event today. Signposts were being ripped off. Like the lampposts that they were on, boarded up houses were like the wood that was on boarded up houses was being torn off. It was like, it wasn't a hurricane or anything. It was just like really, really strong wind. Roads were being closed. So I can't remember the name of the mountain, but for some reason we cycled up a mountain. So we cycled up a mountain. What goes up must come down, which is always nice. So we got to cycle down the mountain. Wasn't enjoyable though, obviously because of the wind. So on a bicycle, and if you're a cyclist, you'll know what I mean. And any winds, like any gust of wind from any direction really can feel quite problematic, particularly if you're like relaxed in the saddle. Like if you're just like not really expecting it and you get a gust of wind from the side, like it will knock your front wheel quite hard if you're not like prepared for it. And it flings people off bikes all the time, like the odd bit of wind. So we had that to contend with. We were literally like, we'd be cycling and then you'd just be blown into the lane next to you. Like you'd just be like flung across the road. And obviously if there was a truck coming the other way, that could be a massive problem. So we're cycling along, like literally my hands still hurt. We're like gripping like the handlebars and like locking your shoulders, like doing your absolute best, like not to let your wheel move, but then your whole body gets pushed around as well. And obviously there was a big headwind as well at times. So about 120 to 130K of the 180K was into a headwind, which again means that for your power output, like you have to do twice as much to move half as fast, basically. So like I looked down at my power meter at one point and I was doing like 280 watts, which isn't like insane wattage, but it's, you're moving at 280, that's like you're getting places. And I was doing 13 kilometers an hour, which is like, we would hope to be going at 30 kilometers an hour average. So you're going less than half the pace you're supposed to be going at. And also, by the way, I would hope to be going at 30 kilometers an hour doing 150. So like literally you're pushing twice as hard and not even going half the speed. So you're just wasting energy. And also you're just like, it's so crap when you just like, you're cycling, and you look down at your distance and you're just getting nowhere because the wind is just so strong. Then on the flip side, you get 100K down the road and you turn around and for a brief period, you're doing 50 without even spinning the pedals, because you're just being taken by this thing, which was nice, but we didn't have much of that, to be honest. The last 30K of the day was like that, which was great because we had enough. We were in the saddle for about 10 hours. So 9 hours, 45 minutes. It's like, imagine just like next time you're on a bike or a line bike or whatever, any kind of bike, just get on it and go to whatever meeting you're going to. But imagine still being on it 10 hours later.
When you're tired, dehydrated, and struggling to concentrate, making smart decisions gets a little tough. That's why I take Vitals by Heights every single day. Initially, my team recommended it to me to keep me firing on all cylinders because it's not just about keeping my legs moving, it's about keeping my brain switched on and ideally making better life choices. Vitals are packed with 20 essential nutrients, including omega-3s for brain power, B vitamins for energy, and vitamin D3, all formulated by scientists and dietitians. And it just gives me that extra edge, better focus, sharper thinking, sustained energy, faster recovery, and deeper sleep. All in 2 capsules a day. Vitals are the smartest way to fuel your body and mind, so give it a go. Get 20% off your first month subscription at heights.com/untapped or use code UT20 at checkout. So here's a cheeky confession. I've never actually been to a World Cup football match, but 2026 feels a bit different. It's happening in Seattle, which is one of my favorite places in the world. Seattle has this amazing energy. It feels very untapped. You can wake up with a cup of legitimately some of the best coffee you've ever had. By the afternoon, you're in the stadium watching one of the biggest football tournaments on the planet. We only do partnerships on Untapped that I'm genuinely interested in and passionate about, and that usually is in the world of sport and optimization. So this might not be the kind of thing that you're used to hearing from us, but I truly think that Seattle is one of those places that everyone should visit if they get the opportunity. So if you're even thinking of heading out for the World Cup, make Seattle top of the list. Discover more at visitseattle.org.
We shouldn't ever really be around the 18-hour mark. 18 hours is a very long shift. The average time when you're competing in an Ironman like Arizona is about 12 and a half hours for a man. I think it's safe to assume that everyone there is, athletic and has trained. You don't get too many people, I don't think, that just raw dog an Ironman and turn up, unannounced type thing. So, when you're looking around, people are keen. Like the Arizona thing, people are keen. Like it's not like a UK vibe thing. Like these lads have all the kit and like all of that, and it's like very serious, like full families turning up with banners and like very like it's very full on, very nice as well. Like the vibe of it, but like at the risk of sounding like a knob, like some people will train for years to do a full Ironman, and it's a real pinnacle moment for their athletic self, I suppose. I don't know. Like it's important. It's really important to lots of people. Like it's really important. Like people are breaking down, crying at the end. Almost everyone crosses the finish line in Arizona and like breaks down in tears and stuff. It's a big thing. Like it's a pretty big thing. It's a big thing when you're in it because it's really, really fucking hard. Like obviously we're in Cape Town, so like it's really beautiful and like there's loads of great stuff. Also, I couldn't find my bib shirt that had the short sleeves, so I wore a long sleeved bib shirt. It was boiling hot yesterday, so I felt like I was just losing too much fluid, in this black long sleeve top. So I took it off, but obviously didn't have any sun cream or anything. I am so burnt, right? Like my back is, I've managed to pick up some every sun, bit of after sun there. But it's not great. I'm going to need to keep that covered up in Perth. Then same old story. You eventually get off this, and we started the run from the hotel, so there was a plate of chicken thighs waiting for me. Lovely stuff. And Chris said, right, we need to get back out there in 10 minutes. And I was like, okay. And he was like, we have 5 hours and 15 minutes from now to complete the marathon. Or it's going to void the whole world record and we'll be outside the 18 hours. Now, 5 hours and 15 is I would consider a slow time for myself. But after everything that we had just gone through, it's actually like you look at it and you go, God, there's now like I'm now up against it time wise too. It's kind of like so I thought to myself, I'm just going to try and blast like the first half like quite hard to just give myself like a buffer. So I went out and did the first half in like 1:55 or something, and then I had kind of 3 hours to do the next bit, which was fine. So I stopped and had a Pepsi and all kinds of stuff and stretched a bit and just gave myself a bit of breathing space. But it was, to do all that sport, right? And obviously I don't mean to keep explaining what these triathlons are, but I have bitten off an extraordinary amount here. Like I'm not looking forward to the next one at all. I don't like these moments of kind of pain are pretty frequent. It's a big 180 from the desert marathons, because obviously that was almost like a spiritual, like almost enlightening. I loved it. Like I really took it in, and this challenge I really wanted to design to kind of break me, to get me to a place where, I may not be able to carry on. Yeah, that is. I get there in every single race, so this defines. This is very painful. It's a very, depreciate. Like we are depleted. Like I'm so depleted, really depleted, in quite a lot of pain. So there's big highs and lows. But a friend of mine described it quite well. I actually don't think, unless you're a professional triathlete, and even then I'd be surprised, I don't think it's possible to go out and enjoy an Ironman in the same way that you might enjoy a marathon. So like, I know that it's very possible to go and enjoy a marathon. Like you can run with your pals and have fun and, just even have a beer halfway through, whatever, like you can enjoy yourself, have a good positive experience. I don't think it's possible to have a fully positive experience with an Ironman.
You really like the idea of that kind of like being tested, digging in, having the sort of pride after you get through it. So I know that obviously in some way when you were planning this, like you said, you knew that was coming, but did you think that feeling, that real sort of grit feeling that you've sort of experienced already would come this soon in it? Has that surprised you at all, or were you kind of ready for it?
This whole challenge has been quite surprising to me. Like I couldn't tell you what time it is. I don't really know where I am. Like obviously I know I'm in Cape Town, but like it makes no difference. Like I could be anywhere. I could be in Japan. It genuinely, it's not. It's a really weird challenge. Like we arrived in Cape Town the night before last, and today we'll be in Perth. And before we were in North America. Do you know what I mean? So we are like, we've nearly done a lap of the world. It's pretty. It's kind of cool, but it's also it's pretty painful. So I was thinking with like 18K of the run left last night, I was like, oh, when I finish this, I'll be really proud. I didn't feel anything when I finished it at all. Like I think that if I succeed and get to the end, I probably will reflect on it and feel proud, but I won't feel proud in the moment. You don't feel anything in the moment. You are like, you're not well at all. At the end of these, you might have a moment where like you cross the finish line and you put your hands in the air and take a nice picture and lie down. But like it's actually unclear where these things start and finish. Like I don't remember starting yesterday. It was yesterday. I don't remember. When I was halfway through the run yesterday, I was trying to think about the day I'd had, and I was just like, I actually can't, like, I'm not sure kind of what's going on. And like I get to these states where I'm running and like you're running and you're going like I don't, it's just this noise I make. I can't stop making it. And like I like it, and it's kind of like you're not you you run past people as well, and they look at you, and obviously they're unaware that you've been, you know, in a session since 5 a.m. and it's, you know, coming up on 10 p.m. and you just look like broken, and people are like, when I had my Pepsi, we'd not sat down at all for the whole run, and there was about 12k left or something like that. Like after, because I had it about halfway between in the second half of the run, basically once I got hit halfway and started kind of taking small breaks, I had that Pepsi that I told you about, and I was like, oh guys, should we sit down for a sec? And she was like, you can't sit down, like you're in the middle of a run. And I was like, yeah. I was like, I've been at it since 5. And she just like laughed, thinking I'm taking the piss, obviously, or thinking 5 p.m., which would only be 5 hours. You know, I'm talking about 5 a.m. But yeah, anyway, I think I'll be delighted when this is over.
Well, that's good. What's like the with the run yesterday? Am I right that you were just kind of doing laps of like the sort of promenade?
Yeah.
Is that harder to do that almost like sort of track style, just hammer the laps, or is it better to like do more of a marathon circuit? Like what's that like, that difference? Does that make it tougher?
I think typically speaking, if you're going away from something and coming back to it, that's quite nice. So yeah, laps aren't the greatest thing in the world. It kind of depends. I love the track. I do love the track. It depends what you're doing though. I think if you're looking to set a fast 10k time, the track is great because you're just dialed into the track. And I enjoy the track. Obviously for a marathon, it's a long time to be on the track. When I did my 24-hour run, I'd ran 4 marathons that day round a track, and it gets old. But for these, it's nice to in an ideal world you'd run 21k one direction and 21k back, because then you've got that whole getting over halfway and everything's downhill from here feeling. Whereas with laps, it's sort of just in passing, the promenade is massive. So which was sort of helpful. It's only like, I think it might have been like 4 full laps that we did. So it's not that bad. It's pretty, it was all right.
Let's quickly talk about Perth then. So you're flying in the next half an hour or so. That's not too bad travel wise, but then what's it like when you land? What are you looking forward to? What are you scared of?
It's a direct flight, 15 hours something. I hope to sleep for 12 hours, my signature move on these flights. That would be great actually. Like a really big, like Larry sleep on that flight would be fantastic. So let's hope for the best. I've not asked a single question about Perth. I've not focused on it at all. I will worry about it when I get there. I'm kind of, I know that the water is going to be like 20 degrees or 21 degrees. Belter. So that would be nice. Not feeling like having a hypothermic cardiac arrest is going to be really lovely. I'm looking forward to it as ever. I absolutely love Australians and Australia, so can't wait to be there. I literally can't believe that we've been to America and Africa in the last 3 days. In fact, hang on, I started a timer at the very start of this. Project 7 started 7 days and 1 hour ago. Yes, it did. Which is a bit annoying, because had we done this at the beginning of the podcast, it would have said 6 days something. So maybe we'll just say 6 days. Yeah. That's good, isn't it? So I got into the water in London 7 days, 1 hour and 21 minutes ago.
God, that's crazy. That time, it's mad what you've done even in that time. So you're nearly halfway. I suppose I know it's 7, so there's not an official halfway, but you're pretty much there now.
Yeah, I know, but Antarctica chucks a bit of a wild demon in the mix. everything takes longer, and it takes a couple of days to get there, and we're there for a couple of days before we do anything. Like, so there's a bit of a break. It is annoying though, because I thought that as well. I looked down and I was like, hang on a sec, if I've banged out 3 and 6, why can't we do the whole lot in 13? What's this 21 number? I'm gonna have a chat to Chris actually about that right now at breakfast.
Yeah. Well, don't, because I was sort of hoping we'd get at least another 2 weeks of podcast out of this. So don't quicken it up too much.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for checking in. Sorry if I feel a bit flat, but looking forward to seeing you when I get back.
Yeah, mate. Good luck, and thanks for checking in again. And we'll speak to you on Monday post Perth.
Yeah, lots of love, brother.
Don't forget to subscribe and follow the show wherever you're listening, and head over to our YouTube as well if you want to keep up to date with everything Spencer is up to during his Project 7 World Record Challenge.